Soak it all in.
Because, by the way, I just want to say that I've already had Masons confirm to some of the oaths that I have in my phone that I can show
No
on the screen.
Mason is going
So,
to confirm an oath
Vincent,
to you. I'm letting you know that now.
Vincent, I'm telling you with all
Nah,
due
Vince,
respect.
he telling the truth because I had to check some brothers.
Okay,
I done had to check some.
thank you, Jay Smoothie, for telling him that I'm not lying. If I
Yeah, I
don't
had
have
to
the
check some.
information, or if I don't have the say so, I'm not going to say anything about it. But what I'm saying is, like I said, they already confirmed to it the Royal Arch and many other different degrees, or whatever you want to call them. So, like I said, with all due respect, I am showing you respect because I haven't shown not one of those. Have I, Jay Smoothie, or Asura? Have I shown one? I just
No.
showed the
Nah,
video.
I
I
mean
showed the video, and then I showed them other
the
pictures.
grips is disrespectful. The grips are, but you know,
Honestly, I can't really say much about that because I have a whole bunch of people in high society in my phone who are doing it. So it's kind of like
I'll
it's
say this. I'll say this, right? So it's the reason why I'm asking is because everything that you're saying, regardless if it's online or if it's published in a book somewhere, it's still something that you earn the right to know or be a part of. You get what I'm saying? So I would never expose secrets about your family that only your family knows, or a nickname that your family knows about you or has for you. I would never expose that to the world because it's something sacred between you and your family. You get what I'm saying? So to get online and speak on things that are supposedly or truly sacred to an organization, to me is that's where the disrespect comes in at. Regardless if it's true or not, or if someone's confirmed it or not, it's still a level of respect that you have to have towards that organization because you have to respect where they are as an organization. I would
okay.
never come to you and accurately or inaccurately put out things about you.
Okay, well, Vincent, do you know who David Rockefeller is?
Absolutely.
Okay, have you ever read his memoir?
No.
I would suggest you read it. Now, he says this within his memoir on page 405. More than a century, ideological extremists at either end of the political spectrum have seized upon well-publicized incidents such as my encounter with Castro, if you know who that is, to attack the Rockefeller family for the inordinate influence they claim we wield over American political and economic institutions. Now, that's not the only thing he says because it gets way more juicy if I read
Well, what
the
does that have
next
to do with
statement.
what I just stated to you?
Because you're talking about disrespecting, I should show respect for the society if I know certain information. Well, this is how these people feel in these different societies. I just want to
Right,
show it
but
to you real
he's
quick.
not saying
Can
anything
I finish
about
reading?
Freemasonry, though. What you just
I,
read said nothing about Freemasonry.
I will show you in a second. Some even believe we are part of a secret cabal working against the best interests of the United States. Now, last time I checked, David Rockefeller is part of Freemasonry.
But he's talking
Now,
about his family, though. The caption that you just read,
no, no.
characterizing my family and me as internationalists. He's
Okay,
speaking
well,
about his family. So everything that you're
all
going to
right.
read from this quote section
Okay,
is what he's speaking on from the
with all due
perception of his
respect, can I
family.
finish reading so I can prove you wrong?
Go
Because
ahead.
I've already, Jay Smoothie already had to prove you wrong on how certain Freemasons already admitted to certain stuff. Now I need to prove you wrong on this part. Some even
It's
believe
not
you.
proving wrong. It's
Okay,
enlightening. Let's
let's
not
see.
make it a right or wrong thing.
Let's make it a lesson then. Some even believe we are part of a secret cabal working against the best interests of the United States, characterizing my family and me as internationalists. And watch this, and of conspiring with others around the world to build a more global political, and economic structure, one world, if you will. If that's the charge, watch this. I stand guilty and I am proud. Go buy the book and read it, please.
Okay,
And like
now
I said, he
let me
said, and watch
let me jump back in.
peep
Let me
how
jump
he
back
said
in
he's
real quick.
conspiring with others around the
Couple,
world.
okay? Boy, are the rest of you in for a surprise tonight. I don't want people to listen to me and walk out of here and just accept the things I have. I kind of like it when people go out of here and say, boy, he's nuts. Because they'll go and they'll try and research to prove that I'm wrong. And the more they research, the more they start believing me. It is impossible to research history and to research the conspiracy and to research the Illuminati without coming away a solid believer. As the brother who prepared these, Brother Tom Berry, said, he went through almost 2,000 books for 20 sheets of notebook paper filled with notes. That's how well it was hidden. How many people have a set of encyclopedias at home, a good set? So home tonight, look up the word Illuminati. In some of the encyclopedias, you will find that it existed but does not exist now. And in other encyclopedias, you will find that it existed and still exists now. But they don't tell you anything about it. Before we go into it, I want to give you a reading list, okay? Now, I want to explain a book before I give its title, and I want you to choose carefully as to whether you want it or not. I don't want you later getting mad at me because I recommended it. It is not a Christian book. It is not a political book. It is an Illuminatus book. The book was ordered, written, and produced by Philip Rothschild, the leader of the Illuminati in this day and age. It was ordered, written by a woman named Anne Rand, and she was at that time one of Philip Rothschild's mistresses. It was written some 12 years ago. She was already a well-known author, and her books sell nationwide. Mostly people who read them are communists. And she wrote this book. It was supposed to be a novel. It's 1,100 pages, so if you don't like to read, don't buy it. And it was written as a novel, supposedly, but it is a code book. And within the book is a step-by-step plan to take over the whole world by taking over the United States. Now, I'm going to say many things tonight that a lot of people will try and go out of here and say that I'm anti-American. No, I'm extremely pro-American. I couldn't be that till I became a Christian. But I'm extremely pro-American. I am just anti-government that exists within America today, because it is not the government of the people any longer, and I'm pro-people government. That's a term misused by communists a lot. I'm sorry if you're upset that I use, but that's exactly what it says in the Constitution. Oh, this is what I've been waiting on. I'm glad he brings it. I know what's in it. Wouldn't be the first time. Now, the power of the Illuminati, and I'll give an explanation. The Illuminati is as following. Okay, first, most people have found the Illuminati in things that have crossed their path. People have found it in the occult, and mistakenly they have said, aha, the Illuminati is the occult. Then they have found it in the Masons, and they said, aha, the Illuminati is the Masons. Then they have found it in politics, and they said, oh, it's politics. So they found it in the international banking system, or they found it in Zionism. So they list it as just being that. Actually, it is all these things, and much more. They have found it in the Mormon religion. That's because the leaders of the Mormon religion are high echelons in the Illuminati. They have found it in the John Birch Society. That's because the man who leads the John Birch Society is both a high-degree Mason and a Mormon. But it is all these things, and its power is finance. If you would take its finance away, which is impossible. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you the name of the book, and I just realized that. I started out. I'm getting ahead of myself. The book is called Atlas Shrugged. Oh, Atlas, you know, Atlas supposed to hold up the world? Shrugged, like you shrug your shoulders. Atlas Shrugged. Now, this is the warning that goes with it. I'll be talking about occult books tonight and how demons are in occult books and in their music and so on. This isn't so with this book. They didn't place a spell on this book because they did not want people to buy this book other than those told to buy it within the occult and within the Illuminati. They are extremely mad because just this year alone they sold several million of them, mostly to Christians, and they don't like that. In fact, they've tried to stop printing it, and people don't want to stop printing it. They're making so much money. The bad thing about it, though, is that since it is written as a novel, it has some passages that I think might belong in Hustler or other places. Maybe out of 1,100 pages, you might count 5 that are this way. You can tear them out and throw them away. They're just stuck in there to hope. They're stuck in there on purpose to keep Christians from reading the book. So if you should get to a passage that is a little something you shouldn't read, just turn to the next page. It'll be over by then, and you can go on with the story. Now, if you don't like to read, skip the first 200 pages. The first 200 pages is exactly the way most people in the world are. They're very boring. No, actually, they're the conspiracy from people in all the walks of life talking about this incident happening and that incident happening, and you know, it's very boring to the fact it lets you know that it's the conspiracy that's planning the incidents. It's like reading the newspaper today. You don't really know what's happening behind it. But after about the first 200 pages, 8 chapters, 9 chapters, something like that, it starts showing you that everything that is happening is conspired to happen. And I'm going to give all these things, and I want to say something before I give the rest of the reading list. The common name for the Illuminati is the conspiracy, or the Great Conspiracy. Now, until we lost the school system to people within the Communist Party and within the organization of the Illuminati and so on, you were taught in your history classes, and some people can remember this if they want to confess up to being that old, that history was taught that it happened because somebody conspired for it to happen. Then we didn't want in this nation anybody to get ideas that maybe our government was a conspiracy. So they decided to start teaching that it just happened because it happened. You know, World War II happened just because some people got mad. World War I happened because some people got mad. The Depression happened because we bought too much too soon without enough money. They did not want anybody to get the idea that it all happened because somebody conspired for it to happen. But I hope to accomplish one thing tonight more than anything, that I will change your attitude, that I'll set new forms or patterns or whatever in your life, that you will walk out of here and when something happens you'll go, now I wonder what they're really up to. Really? Okay? And we'll be talking about a few things tonight. I want to start with the yellow sheet. Now there's something missing on the yellow sheet. I want you to draw a block. No, don't draw a block, I'm sorry. Under the First National Bank Rights Federal Reserve Act, or the Federal Reserve Commission, FRC, FRA, whichever way you want to write it. You can abbreviate it or whatever you want to do. All right? Now, if you look at the pyramids, let's start with the one that says organizations. Now, there's no way to preach a sermon when you're given a teaching like this. I'm going to play school teacher tonight. If some of you find it boring, you happened in the wrong meeting, because you might as well think that you're back in high school or going to college or whatever, because that's about what it's going to be like tonight. I'm going to give a lot of facts. I'm going to try and leave enough time that we can have some questions, because there's no way I can say all I'm going to say tonight without leaving some people in confusion. Pastor disappeared. Here he is. Did you turn that air conditioner on? It's hot in. No, I don't feel nothing. You can't put this many people in a building like this without starting something. Okay. Start with the one that says organizations. And if you'll notice on all the pyramids, the first three blocks are exactly the same. Now, if you've heard my testimony, you know that I came from the Council of 13. Now, I want to stop, take about 3 minutes to explain the doctrine of the high part of the occult. The last four levels of the occult, or the last three levels of the occult, the fourth, fifth, and sixth level, and most of the modern cults today, particularly Mormonism, believe the same thing. How many people ever saw a movie called The Dunwich Horror? Nobody ever saw that movie. A couple people saw it. Okay? And I think Sandra Dee was the star of it or something. Okay. That was probably one of the strongest movies truthful about witchcraft and their beliefs that ever existed. Now, there was the original occult Bible, witchcraft Bible, was called the Necromonicon. There's only 3 copies in existence today. One is in the town, in St. Petersburg Cathedral in the USSR. One is in New York City. No, I'm sorry. One is in Glasgow, and one is in London. I saw when it was on, the one from the London Museum was in New York for a while. I got to hold it and look at it and so on when I was in the occult. Now, from that, the Book of Shadows, the occult Bible, came into existence. Several books have been written from the Necromonicon and are in many Christians' hands today, which we're hope that will burn before it's over. Now, according to the Necromonicon, the beginning of the world happened at man or mortals. You watch The Witch, you know the difference between witches and mortals. That mortals...
Now, where does others say
Not
Masons?
just the family.
Where does others say Masons? How's that not other families? How's that not other political figures? What is other?
I got you.
Others does it say Masonically? It doesn't. You're misconstruing his words to make it fit for this occasion, and it doesn't. He said my family, characterizing my family and me. He never said anything about Masonry. He's talking specifically about his family and himself. And when he says others, that's so generalized that it could be anybody.
Do you see this list right here?
What does that list have to do with his statement?
This has to do with the people that he's conspiring with.
How do you know these to be people that he's conspiring with?
Because I just showed you, sir, I just said that I could show you pictures of these people doing certain Masonic stuff or occult stuff.
But you showing me pictures doesn't mean he's conspiring with them.
Okay, brother, that's you. This is for the people. This is for the people that's not Masons that want to hear truth. Now, look here, Prince Philip.
Hear me out, though. Hear me out really quick. So just because you see me with a, what's it called, the rosemary, if you see me with a rosemary chain on, you see a picture of me with that on, you're going to assume that I'm a Catholic, right? But to me, I'm from up north. That means something different. Rosary for different people mean different things. So if you see me with a picture with a rosary chain on, it doesn't mean I'm a Catholic. It could mean it has another meaning, correct?
First,
associated with me might be associated to me now because they think that I'm a Catholic, but I'm not. You understand the misconception?
I get what you're saying and I understand it, but what I'm saying is I can show you multiple pictures. This is not just one encounter. I can understand if you were saying, oh, I had one interaction with this person. I just assumed this. Yeah, that would be very, honestly, just stupid. very stupid. But that's not the case. I said I can show you more than one picture. So
You're
that's
going
it's
off of
not.
pictures.
If
You're
you
going off of pictures.
what
That's not a thing.
Okay. Okay. Well, look here. Prince Philip, he's a 33rd degree Mason, and he's also part of the Committee of 300. The Queen of Beatrix of Netherlands, she's a part of the Committee of 300. You should look into these groups. The Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands, he's a part of the Committee of 300. King Carl, Bilderberger Group, Prince Bertil, Grand Orient Lodge of Freemasonry, Illuminati members, John Jacob Astor, McGeorge Bundy, Andrew Carnegie, Walter Freeman. You should look these people up. They're very high people in society, or were high people in society if they're not here anymore. W. Averwell, if I'm saying his name correctly, Harriman, Ted Kennedy, John D. Rockefeller Sr., David Rockefeller, who I just mentioned, Lee Teng-hu, if I'm saying it correctly, Baron Guy D. Rothschild, Hillary Clinton, Albert Pike, and he was also a founder of the Hat people, who was lynching our people and my people too. But let's continue. Sam and Edgar Bronfman Jr., Rockefeller's family, David Nelson, Winthrop Lawrence, J.D. III, Lord J. Rothschild, many other different high people in society. George W. Bush Jr. and Sr., part of the Skull and Bones. Also, the founder of Skull and Bones was a Freemason too, as well.
I appreciate you naming names. That's very commendable that you made a list. What I'm asking you to do, though, I'm asking you to correlate the two. The statement that you just posted and you just read off to us about his family and other people around him. Okay, cool. You're saying that they came back and some of them are Masons, some of them are Illuminati in quotation, some of them are whoever.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're all just Masons. I'm saying they're different societies.
I get that. What does that have to do with us as Freemasons?
Because the system of Masonry helps build it, because individuals who
No.
Can I finish, sir? Can I finish? Because you asked me the question. I'm just trying to properly answer it real quick.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
I'm just saying that not the people in Masons, because I don't attack the individual Mason. I'm talking about the system, because the system of Masonry allows the individuals who can partake in this type of, high society, the stuff that I'm showing you. These individuals are allowed in that because of the secrecy that's allowed, because somebody's going to give the word that, hey, you should give the tip about this guy, or hey, you should put this guy in this position. And this is what I'm going to tell him to do to get there. And if you think that this doesn't happen, then honestly, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, so now it goes back to our initial comment that we made probably 10 minutes ago. If all of our bodies and all of our jurisdictions are different, right? If we all do things differently, we all act on our own accord. What makes you think that we come together in unison for this particular range of activity that you're assuming that we're a part of? What makes you think that happens if we can't get together as one body in the United States alone? Let's just speak on the United States. There are however many jurisdictions of us in the United States, right? If we all don't come together in the states alone under one Grand Lodge, under one person, what makes you think that we all come together for one common cause of helping the Rockefellers, or all come together to do X, Y, and Z?
Okay, Vincent. That's the thing. If you think that I think that the Masons watching this video and you and Jay Smoothie and the other Masons on here are secretly working with this group, never do I ever think that. I would be foolish to think that. I would never assume that, because you guys are in no position to have a position to tell me what to do over my life. The people that I'm talking about have a position to tell me, you, and anybody on this panel what to do with your life, and they will do it. I can show you. I've already shown Jay Smoothie how they're going to implement in America a digital ID system. And if you're not a part of that system, then guess what? You don't get to partake in the system. So as I'm stating, this man, George Bush Sr., said this: it is a big idea, a new world order, one world, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause, globally integrated with the United States.
Bro. Listen really quick. I understand that you're reading quotes and you have a PowerPoint to reference back to, and that's great. I love the fact that you did your research and you put things together. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is a lot of this is propaganda, bro. Like, you can read as many quotes as you want to, but you're making it seem as if all these meetings happen in a back room somewhere. I'm a 32nd degree Mason. I think Jay Smoothie is a 32nd degree Mason as well. If you think that we know somebody that knows somebody that might know somebody, you're crazy. The only way that this would happen, ideally, is if they meet in this secret room that nobody else knows about, bro. And I promise you that's not happening. That's propaganda.
Okay,
that goes back to the whole comment or the ideology that the Illuminati is a real thing.
Freemasonry started when the Rosicrucians merged with the stonemason guilds of Europe. From the 1640s onwards, as the construction of grand cathedrals declined, Masons concentrated less on stonework and more on occult teachings. By 1717, the world's first Grand Lodge of Freemasonry was established in London. Freemasons were initially viewed positively by the public for doing good works, and the number of lodges grew rapidly throughout Europe. The age-old satanic desire for power also grew within Freemasonry. A secret society within a secret society, made up of only the highest levels of Freemasons, fathered a ruthless philosophy that is affecting us to this day. On May 1st, 1776, the Order of the Illuminati was born. The Illuminati were a perfect storm of Freemasonic, banking, and religious interests. If you are truly interested in separating fact from fiction, what remains as fact about the Illuminati from original sources is most disturbing. By reading Robeson's Proof of a Conspiracy, the goals of the Illuminati become clear. Abolition of all monarchical government and patriotism to it. Elimination of private property and inheritance. Destruction of the traditional family. And eradication of all religion. The Illuminati were an extreme sect of Freemasonry. The effects of these institutions cannot be overemphasized. Over 5,000 years of occult history have been focused into Freemasonry and the Illuminati. Around 250 years of occult practices have flowed from them. The modern financial system was created by a family which had connections to the Illuminati. The goals of communism are identical to the goals of the Illuminati. Modern propaganda movements can be traced back to Freemasonry and the Illuminati. Every major war, from the French Revolution onwards, has been influenced by Illuminati philosophy to progressively promote a one-world government. The Illuminati were headed up by Adam Weishaupt. Weishaupt had a Catholic background and, contrary to popular myth, was not a Jesuit or secret Jew. When his father died when Adam was 5, Weishaupt was sent to live with his godfather, rector at Ingolstadt University. Because the university was a Catholic institution, the rector brought home many suppressed books, which Adam read. Weishaupt graduated with a Doctor of Law degree from the University of Ingolstadt in 1768. Though the Pope disbanded the Jesuits in 1773, they were still allowed to teach canon law at the university because they were the only ones who were qualified to do so. This angered Weishaupt and pushed him further towards the radical teachings he read as a child. At first, Weishaupt had only a few disciples who met locally in Weishaupt's apartment in Ingolstadt, Germany. To my knowledge, this is the only presentation to prove the physical origins of the Illuminati. From this upper room, an evil philosophy of extreme rationalism was born. Weishaupt was initiated into the Masonic Lodge of Theodore of Good Counsel in Munich in 1777. Through his growing associations with Freemasons, priests, preachers, professors, dukes, colonels, and counts, Weishaupt worked to weave the Illuminati into the rope of Freemasonry. The nobility wished to become members of the Illuminati to establish more connections to advance their own enterprises and interests. Members of the Illuminati were gradually told the intentions of the group as long as they agreed with them and could be trusted to keep its secrets. In 1782, dozens of participants attended the Masonic Congress of Wilhelmsbad, which became the power base of the Illuminati. At its height, the Illuminati had around 2,000 members. The House of Rothschild was on its way to becoming the most powerful banking family in the world. Mayer Amschel Bauer, a Jewish coin dealer of humble origins, changed his name to M.A. Rothschild. He placed a red shield in front of his banking house, which incorporated a hexagram. The family crest has evolved over time, but maintains this element within it to this day. Mayer Rothschild never became a member of the Illuminati, nor did he finance this movement as is commonly believed. Rothschild did act as banker for 2 members of the Illuminati. Archbishop Prince Karl Theodor Dalberg attained the highest degree within the Illuminati in 1784 and was a traitor for France and Napoleon. He reluctantly emancipated the Jews of Frankfurt in 1811 for a high price, financed by Mayor Rothschild. Karl, Landgrave of Hesse-Kassel, was deeply into the occult and was the main organizer of the Congress of Wilhelmsbad, held at the summer home of Karl's brother.
Now, is there an appendage? Is there maybe even back in the day, was it something similar to what the Illuminati is supposed to be? Maybe so. But for y'all to think that Freemasonry is a part or even in alignment with this, bro, is crazy to me.
Okay,
You're reaching out far for something that doesn't exist.
Okay, have you ever heard of the Munich Secret Security Conference? This happened the second month, and the second day.
I've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, well, the UN chief of this group says this: a global order that works for everyone. Now, if I was able to show you the video, he goes further into how basically we need to unite the world under one cause and have it under some type of global order that works for not just one person or one system or one nation, but
you know what he's referencing, correct?
Okay. Sure. What is he referencing?
No, I'm asking you if you know what he's referencing.
I know what he's referencing, and I just stated.
Are you alluding to what you think he references? Or are you actually speaking on what he says he's referencing? Because the UN, when they speak of that, what you're speaking of right now, they're speaking of the countries. They're speaking of these power countries coming together. It's not about organizations. They're speaking of world leaders coming together, presidents of countries coming together to make a more unified front. They're not speaking about these little individual organizations that people think control the world. The UN is strictly speaking of presidents coming together to be on the same forefront so that wars don't happen, so that we're on the same page when it comes to these resources. That's what he's speaking of. He's not speaking about fictitious power, bro.
Two more shall take its place.
Prove it.
Accessing archive. Hydra was founded on the belief that humanity could not be trusted with its own freedom. What we did not realize was that if you try to take that freedom, they resist. The war taught us much. Humanity needed to surrender its freedom willingly. After the war, SHIELD was founded, and I was recruited. The new Hydra grew, a beautiful parasite inside SHIELD. For 70 years, Hydra has been secretly feeding crisis, reaping war. And when history did not cooperate, history was changed.
That's impossible. SHIELD would have stopped you.
Accidents will happen. Hydra created a world so chaotic that humanity is finally ready to sacrifice its freedom to gain its security. Once the purification process is complete, Hydra's new world order will arise.
But that's the thing too, though. When them people talk about coming together, man, we got to think about it, right? Let's just think about it. You got countries going to war, right? But then again, all these countries agree, no matter how many times we go to war against each other, none of us will touch Antarctica. You ever heard of the Antarctica Treaty?
Mm-hmm.
So we gotta think like the stuff that they fighting over and all this stuff, man. Listen, man. At the end of the day, the Holy Scriptures is life itself of food.
Well, Jay Smoothie, if that's the case, then you should know that Revelation 13 says that and the world will unite with the beast. What is that?
Okay, but that's all they talk.
Jay Smoothie, I let you guys, go on your little.
my bad.
I even let y'all.
My bad.
I even let y'all interrupt me at times. And just
No, I ain't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
What I'm just saying is, you just said that the scripture, comes alive and all this other stuff. Well, the scripture says in Revelation 13 that the beast, his wound will be healed, and all the world will wander after the beast. Now, what does that sound like to you? If the whole world had to wander after this beast, they would have to unite with this beast eventually. That's what the scripture is saying. But then not also that, Vincent talked about this is just a whole bunch of nonsense and the Illuminati, this and that. Now, look here. In 2022, at the World Government Summit, the same night that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, this people were having a debate, or not a debate, but a conversation about this. The title of this session, Are We Ready for a New World Order? And this was 2022. Now, the documents that I just showed you guys was from the 90s, the 80s, or maybe even the 2000s. But now I'm showing you a very, 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 very recent document. I've already shown you 2024 one, but I'm showing you this one too. And the title of the session was, Are we ready for a new order? Now, if you guys are assuming that these people are working in our best interest, that's your opinion. Kudos to you. That's what you keep thinking. But guess what? In Nigeria, now your cell phone will be blocked without digital ID. So if you don't have a digital ID in Nigeria, you can't partake in having a phone now.
But what does the digital ID have to do with Freemasonry, brother?
Bro,
It has nothing to do with Freemasonry.
did you just hear what I said? I said that Masonry, the system of Masonry, allows for an individual to go through these different societies and partake in this higher stuff that I just showed you of these different people. And
Well,
guess what? Can I finish? You just asked me what does it deal with it. And guess what? These people in these different societies, I can show you a book from Manly P. Hall where he says himself, secret societies have been in development for the ages, and they will work to the coming of that golden age. But the point is, different societies like Masonry, the Illuminati, because I don't associate all Masons to be Illuminati. Illuminati is just simply a branch within it. So you can be Illuminati and Mason.
It's not a branch within Masonry. It's not a branch within Masonry. You're saying something that's not accurate, though. There's nothing that I learned in Masonry, even being a 32nd degree Mason, that says that there's any mention of Illuminati, bro. It's not a branch of
Did you
Illuminati.
just hear me correctly? I said that you can be Illuminati and Freemason, but not a Freemason Illuminati. That's what I simply said. So instead of you interrupting me and thinking that you have the upper hand or something like that, just
being
calm down and
defensive,
understand
bro.
what I'm really
It's-
trying to say, bro.
You're
Just
being
calm down and
defensive.
really
but
There's no
I
need
get what
for
he's
it.
saying. What he's saying is people that's in these secret societies that got access to climbing up in the ranks and things. Listen,
Thank you.
I
Thank
understand
you.
what you're
Thank
saying,
you.
right?
Thank
But
you.
here's the
Thank you.
thing,
Thank
though.
you. Thank you. Thank
Let me
you.
say
Thank
this
you,
though.
Jesus.
As a
Damn.
Mason, right? I can say that's true because you have this. It's no different than, check this out. It's no different than you have people that's maybe in these Greek fraternities, right? I might go apply for a job, but I ain't part of it. But now you got a brother who's a part of your Greek fraternity. Okay, you gonna reach out. You gonna look out for your brother. That ain't nothing wrong with that. That's just called networking and
By the way,
communication.
this is footage from the Bohemian Grove too.
So this is what I'm saying with that, right? Yeah, you got people in different societies that has pull to reach out to another brother in the same society to help you advance in life and positions. Yeah, you have that. Now, that has nothing to do with what the teachings of that society is predicated upon, though. That's the distinction that Brother Vince
You
is trying to
Baji.
make. That's all he's saying. He's saying, I can sit here and say, yeah, I'm a Freemason. Exactly. But you might have, with me being a Prince Hall Freemason, right? You have the ancient Freemasons that don't recognize me as a Mason, so they ain't gonna care about me being no Mason. So the thing is, it's like you have to take away what the teachings predicated upon, and you have to know what the teachings is predicated upon in order to associate these things with other things. That's all we saying. Masonry is not predicated upon Satanism or anything like that, because the Most High Word says you cannot have two masters. You can't serve the Most High Mammon. And as long as you know me, conspiracy, you know how biblically sound I am, and you know I'm a Mason. So you had not once have you seen me or heard me speak on anything uplifting Hasatan, which is Satan, in any way, shape, or form. I'm not gonna sit up here and try to tell you about the Most High all day and then turn around and serve the adversary. That just ain't me. That ain't what we do as, that ain't even what we do as Masons at all.
Well, the thing is, I don't associate all Masons with this. And one thing is, I definitely think you can be deceived unknowingly. And, you still have to take the fall for it. And some Masons are honestly deceived and they don't know really what's going on with their inner organization. Your organization allows for these monsters, like Baja said. Baja said that Masonry is the gateway. It's the gateway drug. Once you tap into that one, now you want to try other stuff. And once you get to try other stuff, you get to see what the gestures are doing. Then after the gestures, you get to go to the Shriners. But then as we can see what have some of these people be doing, they be doing some creep stuff. They'll do some stuff
but
that in my
nah,
neighborhood you'll get hurt for.
but here's the
Hurt
thing, bro.
bad. So that
You
I'm
don't
like,
have,
this is crazy, bro. And it's not even just them. Because we got P. Diddy monsters who have ties to Boulay members. People like LeBron James in them. So that's why I say I don't just stick it down to just one secret society, because you have the Greek fraternities. That is the gateway for the Freemasons, and the Freemasons are the gateway for these other different secret societies that are just on a different scale.
Can I say
yeah,
something?
but people trying to do that. But guess what? I'm a Mason. I'm not a Shriner. I'm not a part of any other organization. I'm not in the Greek organization. You got people that's in the Greek organizations that's not Masons. You got people that's Shriners that's not Masons. They just pure Shriners. So the thing is, it's not connected as you think. Whatever they teach in the Greek fraternities is what they teach. What they teach in Freemasonry is what they teach.
Well,
What they
Jay
teach in,
Smokey,
well, go ahead.
before this ends TikTok, I'm going to show you how the Greek fraternities was founded upon Freemasons.
You say it was founded
I
upon
have the
Freemasonry?
information. I just have to go get it. I can come back and show that at a later time. So that's
Being
why
a
I
member
simply
of a
said
Greek letter organization, there are similarities, but there's no pipeline to anything.